Our Father, that which is supreme, we honor, knowing that it only has good. You only have good for us. You're always with us. You never have to come from a distance. You never have to think about helping us because you love us. And because you love us, we respectfully give ourselves, not thinking of what is going to happen, because you said, take no thought. You said, who by taking thought? And why do you think that you need to do something to get my attention, to move me? No, I am God. I have planted a seed within you, and that seed is ever connected to me. And that seed can never move in the wrong direction. It can never not make the right decision. Why? Because I am God, and I love my creation. I am with my creation, and all that my creation is, I am. You are blessed when you recognize that I am with you always. You are blessed when you come to the silence and just simply sit. When the thoughts come at you that are different from loving me or thinking of me, just kindly push them aside and think on me, and they will disappear. And that is the way that the evils of this world, that's how they leave. They come at you, and if you will look away from them and think on me, the evils will disappear. Why? Because the seed within you only has one direction. You are seed of my seed, and the finished product of the seed, and nothing changes that. I am with you always. I will never leave you. So think on me. Try not to make me do anything or to convince me, because I have already decided that you are ever in my heart, and my heart will never change. I have given unto you all that I am. Simply think on me until the change occurs. I will cast out everything which is unlike me, and you shall see me as glorified and as infinite and as eternal as I am. And in seeing that, you see yourself. Lord, speak. Your servant is listening. And so it is. With all of thy getting, get understanding. And I know that you know what this means, because many of you have tried and conquered many things that you wanted to do, gotten confident at them. But in the beginning, the understanding seemed to be left or right or slow in coming and whatnot, but you just kept after it and kept after it and kept after it until you had the understanding. Oh, this works like this. Well, that's what God is trying to say to us, is that he works one way. He works one way. He works his way. And because he works his way, he has given his way to us that we would what? Have understanding. Jesus Christ has understanding. There's not mention of Jesus in the Old Testament, but if you go back, you'll find prophets, holy men, judges. What did they have? Understanding. It says that as long as there were judges, the people prospered. And when the judges died and they would just go with the leader of the clan or the king, people did evil in the sight of the Lord. So what did the judges and the prophets have? They would sit and listen. This is one thing that we don't do. We don't sit and listen. If you're anything like me, you get frustrated because it seems like you're sitting and you're listening to nothing but cars go up and down the highway, or the water dripping, or cracks in the house settling, or some of us even keep the TV or the radio on so it makes sense. No, or we listen to ourselves carrying on conversation. So how can you hear God if you're carrying on a conversation? You see, at some point in time, the understanding has to come. And what is the understanding? I am sitting in silence because the Holy One is in that silence, and I am listening, not necessarily for a word, but I am listening for the Holy One to speak, or the Holy One to move to where I feel something, or something happens that gives me understanding. Understanding of what? I am in the presence of holiness, and no evil can touch me here. So today we're going to talk about I speak that which I am. Do you listen to what's coming out of your mouth? See? Do you listen? Someone gets you upset and you go to barking. Are you listening? Because it's coming out of your mouth. Can you see that? And what is coming out of your mouth? That which I am. Think about it. My wife tells me this a lot. I'm going to bear a little of my soul today. You seem to be so much more nicer around other people than you are around me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why? Why can't I carry on that conversation with that person to be polite no matter what? But I can kind of run around her. Not that she knows me. It's really a lack of understanding, wouldn't you say? Come on. Like I said, I'm burying myself a little bit. It's a lack of understanding. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure you're comfortable, but I'm going to grunt or not answer or whatever. Why can't I maintain? Yeah. See? That's the area that I need to sit in the silence. You see it now? I see it. Sit in the silence and go, whoa, dude. You got the wrong bait on the line. See? I speak that which I am. Today's recording is number 69. And listen at the theme, 1 John 3:2. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Now, in the normal church world, that scripture is given to you to say that one day after much trial and tribulation on this planet, Jesus Christ is going to appear again, and when we see him, we're going to all be changed, and we're going to be able to see him as he is, and we're going to realize that we are sons of God, and we all going to live happily ever after. But what did the scripture say? Beloved of God, now. When is now? Right now. Right now, we are the sons of God, and whereas you sit in the silence listening, he is going to appear in that silence. Can you see it? He's going to appear as your conscious awareness of love. And when you see him, no man has seen God and lived. When you see him in the silent meditation, in the silent contemplations, you are going to be changed. You are basically looking in the face of God, and when he shall appear, we shall be like him. Remember I said a little bit earlier, if you go to the silence and you hear God or you feel God, can you repeat that? Sure you can. Because that person that saw God is no longer living. He's dying. He's heard, he's seen the movement of God, and he's saying, that's what I can repeat. I just can't go out here and be comfortable around people the way I feel I need to be, and if you don't treat me the way I want to, I'm going to stiff-arm you, I'm going to blackball you, I'm going to ignore you. No. If I'm looking in the face of God, that person that I think myself to be must die. But he dies to his feelings and realizing that the voice of God is purifying him, and he's looking in the face of God. Now God can speak through this person, and he can see this world that we're living in. He can see things change. What have I to fear? If God be for me, who can be against me? What have I to dread? What can man do to me? See, man has set up a system out there, and that system is not set up to help you. Please hear me. That man that invented whatever he invented, Bill Gates, let's just take him for instance. Bill Gates and his two friends, Stephen Jobs and I can't think of the other guy's name, they invented a computer system where they came up with an idea. And they knew that they could put computers in people's houses. IBM didn't know that. So they went to IBM and tricked IBM into giving them great old big computers that filled up rooms. And they went in the garage and downsized those things to the point where you could put it in your house. Now just think. Those three guys came on an idea that would make them super rich, right? Why aren't they still in the garage? Because they needed somebody to help them spread that idea around the world. So why did they hire these people? To get the idea around the world. They didn't hire them because they loved them. They didn't hire them because they wanted them to have a nice life. Otherwise, they'd be sharing the profits equally, wouldn't they? You getting my point now? People who invent things come up with ideas to spread those ideas because they need legs. They need mouths and arms to take these things around. But in reality, if they could have got it done with those three in the garage, they'd still be in the garage, wouldn't they? And I know some of you have heard the story about how Macintosh computers came about. Bill Gates drove Jobs, Apple, drove him out of the business. Then felt sorry and brought him back in. You see what I'm saying? His partner. You see, accepting sonship is the supreme test. You have got to believe that you are the Son of God, and if you are the Son of God, you are endowed with every opportunity, with every right, every privilege that the Son of God has. Notice I say you cannot hedge on this point even for a second. What do you mean hedge? Well, don't you sit out and say, I can't do this. Have you ever done that? You're hedging. You're hedging. And the church is telling you, you can't have the power of Jesus Christ. Who you think you are? There's only one perfect. That's right. There's only one perfect. And where is that perfect one? Hid in Christ, in God, right? But it also says your life is hid in Christ, in God. Oh, my goodness. So there's a seed within you that's perfect that you won't allow out because you're fearful. You think that you're going to be walking around here healing people. God never told you to go around here and heal people. He told you to come and sit in front of me and listen, and I will speak a word through you that will bring that person, will reconcile that person back to me. All he wants you to do is listen. Listen and allow him to drive. So then what is the Son? The Son is the visible image of the invisible Creator. Oh, my goodness. What's the difference? Nothing. Because what the Son knows, the Father knows. What the Father knows, the Son knows. But it's the Father that's greater because the Father gives to the symbol the ability to act. What do I tell y'all all the time? Somebody walks up and they start telling you about their problems. What do I tell you to do? Peace be unto you. Go thy way. Everything will be okay. Yeah, but Reb, I don't believe that. And when you started cooking biscuits, when you started cooking meals, did you burn up some of them? Did you stop believing that you couldn't cook because you had a bad? No, you kept at it, didn't you? You see, there's a change that must happen on the inside of you. I am the Son of the living God. I don't have to go out here and heal anybody, but I am going to realize that if I am the Son of the living God, then everybody on the planet is the Son of the living God. So therefore, I'm looking from the kingdom and I'm saying, go in peace. If I keep saying that over and over again, yeah, some people are going to die. Even after you say go in peace, they're going to die. Some people are going to lose their jobs. Some people are going to get hateful and bad things are going to happen to them. But did you stop trying to learn how to cook? So what happens if you stay in the kingdom and you keep seeing people? After a while, you start keep seeing the people as they truly are. And you keep giving them their peace. No matter what, you give them their peace. Guess what? One day, one of them is going to come back and say, you know what? Things changed for me. They may not tell you that you're the reason they changed, but the voice on the inside of you is going to say, you gave them their peace. You glorified God in spite of the situation. You didn't go off into maybe you need to go down here and start doing this or you need to get this sin out of life. You didn't do that, did you? You just told them, I know who you are. I'm going to give you your peace. You must believe that point God where God reveals himself as the Son. We must believe that I am the point where God reveals himself as the Son. As in the case of Jesus, we need not voice it, for when it is conceived within us, it will reveal itself without operation. I got a little chuckle yesterday. My wife looked at me and she said, when you went to Walmart the other day, did you have any situation? You know how I'm always telling you about me going to Walmart. She said, did anything occur in there that was, like I said, yeah. You see, I walk through Walmart now like, okay, I'm here, y'all. When it's time for me to check out, they always wave or something and say, come on over here. Ain't nobody in this line. I don't stand in line in Walmart. That's right. I don't. But am I bragging? Yeah, I'm boasting in God. Why? Because I believe I speak that which I am. I'm not arrogant with it. I don't go in and go, I'm going to jump in front of these people and I'm going to do it. No. I speak that which I am. And what is that? What is what I am? That which I believe. I believe that I walk through life and avenues open up. Why? I'm the Son of God. Did y'all get that? I'm practicing. And this world out here must conform to that which I speak. Every time I try to do something, come on now. How many times have you said that? Something happens and this, well, look at what you're carrying. You're speaking that. You're expecting this thing to go wrong even if it's 6 months down the road. When you get to it, I wonder who's going to jump up and go to acting ugly, right? Well, they have to act ugly. Why? Because you created them. You created that hiccup in your life. Now, are things going to come to try to be a hiccup? Yep. Why are they coming? They're coming to destroy the hiccup maker. I hope y'all got that. So bad things are happening in my world to do what? To destroy the person that thinks that bad things are coming to hurt me. In the case of the man that was born blind, and the disciple asked Jesus, Master, who sinned that this boy was born blind? And Jesus said, no one. What? Okay, so then sin is not done by somebody and put on somebody else, is it? Jesus said that the works of God might be made manifest. We all come to the planet and we all are facing all kind of ugly situations. Why? That the works of God might be made manifest. There's your rapture. When you talk the church talking about the rapture, there's your rapture. That when I can stand in the midst of a storm and recognize that the kingdom of heaven is where I live, now I'm raptured. That's why Paul on the boat could say, don't be afraid. An angel visited me last night and said that this was going to happen, but if y'all listen to me, everything's going to be okay. Brethren, don't get in those boats and try to get away, because if you get out there in that water, you're going to get overturned. Stay with me. Why is Paul saying that? Because Paul has been raptured. He has been taken out of the world of the five senses of the three dimensions, and he's living now in the fourth dimension. What's the fourth dimension? Where you sit and listen. You sit and listen. God's world is intact. There's never anything wrong in God's world. Never, ever, ever. This is the first major step in our evolution. Acceptance of our nobility. Stop walking around telling people, I'm blessed and highly favored. Cut that out. Okay? Cut that out. Walk around telling yourself, I'm blessed and highly favored. Because guess what? 10 people going to walk up to you, and 10 people going to unload on you all the problems, right? And if you're not careful, you're going to be number 11. Yeah, I know. Don't do it. When they walk up, like the other day, somebody walked up and started talking to me and started telling me stuff. I just nodded. They looked at me like, ain't you going to say something? I said, I just went fishing. I caught 5 trout, 2 bluegills, 1 bass, and a perch. And they looking at me like, huh? Right. If you're not careful, if you talk to people about their problems, guess what? You're going to take that problem home with you. Trust me. Galatians 4:19, my little children, of whom I travail in birth again until Christ be permanently formed in you. That's Paul. Why can Paul want this for us? My little children. He's putting himself in what position? As a father, right? Paul is looking at us now as his children. He's saying, my little children of whom I travail. Women in here that have had children. Y'all remember what those birth pains felt like? Travail. Some of them were painful, stressful, pushing, right? You just wanted it to go away. Paul is saying, this is what I'm going through for you. Why is he going through these situations for us? Because he knows what's inside of you. You got to understand, Paul knew the Bible forward, backward, upside down, left, right. He knew it. But on the Damascus Trail, he was shown he had a lot of knowledge. He didn't know God. And once God took him from that point and took him off for 9 years, God would not let him preach for 9 years until he got the revelation of Jesus Christ. Now he comes back, and what is the revelation that Paul comes back with after 9 years? Look at Galatians 1:15 and 16. But when it pleased who? God. When it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace to reveal his Son in me. What is God trying to do with you? To reveal his Son in you. You need to stop trying to have a good time out here in this thing and getting God to put his stamp of approval on it. You need to stop that. God is not a waiter, okay? He's not a credit card. He's not a call-in seeking assistance. Y'all got that? God is not out there trying to make your way pleasant. Every time you get in a situation, God, need a little help. Okay, got you, babe. Move on. That's not God. God ain't looking for you to tithe so he can give you 100-fold. Okay? God is looking for you to give yourself to him, taking no thought as to what can happen. Paul got so involved with God that Paul said, I'm at a crossroads whether to leave here and be with God or stay and be with you and teach you what I found out. But I'm fully persuaded that both of those are good because I know that if I leave, I'm going to be ever with God and nothing can persuade me. Nothing can separate me from God. But right now it's meaningful, more meaningful for you that I stay. Wow. And most people don't realize at the end of his life he was beheaded. Beheaded for what? For believing the gospel. Is that a reason to be killed? For believing the gospel? But what was Paul in the kingdom, within him? Fully persuaded that nothing shall separate me from the love of God. So you're saying, but how long am I going to live? You're taking thought. You're taking thought. If God calls you to come to him, does he have a plan? Hello? If he's called you, he's not calling you just for you to go, yeah, I heard you. If he's called you, he's calling you to a purpose. And it's up to you to take no thought for that purpose if all he wants you to do is sit in the back room of your house for the next 40 years, you'll be happy to do it. But you'll know the purpose, and the purpose will bear fruit to where you'll be content to sit there. If he wants to put you on a big stage out here, he'll put you on it. I met a man the other day while I was fishing. One leg was cut off at the knee, and he had the prosthetic, and the other one, most of his foot was cut off, and he was walking in a boot. And that man looked at me, and of course, you know, you're trying to fish, and they want to talk sometimes. He looked over at me, and he says, God called me 20-some years ago, 30-some years. He looked like he was in his 40s. He said, but I refused to go. He said, and I regret not going. I said, well, why didn't you go? He said, because I didn't want to be no preacher. I said, dude, are you crazy? He said, no, I come from a family of preachers. But I didn't want to be none. I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah, what? I said, how do you know he wanted you to preach? Huh? That's what he said, huh? I said, how do you know that's what he wanted you to do? I said, all you know is he called you. He called you to come and learn who he was. You jumped the gun. I don't want to stand in no pulpit. I said, brother, if God calls you and you hear him and you sit, trust me, you're going to be glad to do whatever he wants you to do when he tells you to do it. He might just want you to sit on the docks and fish and witness to people as they come by. He said, yeah, but we got to go to church. I said, who said? I said, what church did Jesus Christ build? He said, well, he built the church on the mountain. I said, yeah. He built the church on the creek bank. Yeah. I said, what four-wall structure did he build? He said, none. I said, so you need to get in the church of the Lord Jesus Christ, and if he wants you to build a church, then you'll build one. But don't tell him what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Hello? You see, Paul said, to reveal his son in me that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. What's the first thing we do when we get the call? Let's go find the religious leaders, right, and tell them we need to be trained so we can become a preacher. We didn't even ask God, is that what you want us to do? We just assumed that was the next step, and now you look out there and you see people out there preaching with no effect. None. When believed, I speak confidently what I believe. My confidence expresses what I believe. Let's go back to those biscuits. Why does the person walk up and ask you, do you want some biscuits? Something about those biscuits, they'll put some confidence in them, isn't it? I ain't going to walk up and ask you, you want one of these, and I don't like it. Why that person send you ribs, Darryl? I told somebody the other day, I said, man, this dude sent me some ribs, and I had already bought chilies, baby back, okay? And I'm sitting there looking at my wife going, man, I want Darryl's ribs to be the last taste in my mouth, because she knows how I like to eat. The last taste in my mouth is the one that I want to walk around. If I got to think about something, that's it. Man, them ribs were good. But it went further than that, didn't it, Darryl? It went further than just enjoying the ribs. Now I got to pick up my phone and go, dude, these ribs slamming. And he goes, yeah, I thought you might like them. Yeah, right. Why did he think I might like them? Because he tasted them first, didn't he? And then I come back and say, hey, man, do you think you might give me this recipe? Come on. Now, Just because I'm asking for the recipe and just because he gives it to me does not mean mine going to turn out like that, does it? But guess what? I'm going to keep on trying, and I'm going to keep on trying. Why? Because I know what the end, I know what they're supposed to taste like. Now, how confident that you can keep going back to God and say, give me the confidence to speak what I believe and know that it's going to happen. Well, when someone walks up to you and says, I got this issue, look at them and say, be at peace. Yeah, but what if hey, did I tell you to think about what if it didn't happen? I didn't tell you to think about that, did I? Put the biscuit in the oven, right? You don't know how that first batch is going to turn out. How come he didn't ask me, try these out? Because when he bit into that rock, or he bit into that hard piece of paper, he said, nah, this ain't it, right? I take this out here and throw it to the fish, or give it to the dog, or whatever. But when he bit into that one that was, oh my goodness, and then comes back talking about, I want to fix them so they rise up. Now look at where he's headed. Look at where he's going. He's seeing, understanding. I know how to make them so they taste good. So now I need to work on this. Confidence. Where is your confidence? If you want to see how God works, start speaking to people. When they start telling you their problems, start telling them it'll be all right. Go in peace. I'm with you. Start saying stuff like that and watch how they look at you. And they're going to go, you think you got all that going? Yep. Why? Because I know who you are. I know who you are. So you going to heal me? Did I say that? I said go in peace. Why? Because peace is what made you. Peace is what's on the inside of you. Peace is what glorifies itself. Peace is the only thing that God gives to his creation. Peace is all that there is. As I have received, so give I unto you. John 12:50. And I know that his commandment is what? Life everlasting. Do you know that? Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. When you sit in the silence and your body gets moved by something and you know that that's an affirmative something going on, you hear a voice, you feel God is speaking, that you can repeat. I say what I hear the Father say. I do what I see the Father do. So when you come to me and you say, I need prayer, I'll say, go in peace. But I'm not going to say it because the Bible tells me to. I'm not going to say it because Reverend Orr told me to. Hello? Those are the starting points. Why am I saying these things? I'm saying these things because I know that his commandment is life everlasting. The words that I speak, they are spirit and they are truth. The word that I speak will not leave me, go out and come back void, but it shall accomplish that which unto I sent it. So when you come to me and you say, I got this bad situation, and I go, yeah, man, it's hell all over. Where did I send you? Further into that hole that you're already in. That is not my job. My job is to reconcile you unto God. And the only way I can reconcile you to God is I myself reconcile myself first unto God. Through his commandment, the words that I speak. I don't have a bad word for you. Yeah, that gets hard. It gets hard when you got a bad word for me. But I don't have a bad word for you. Why? Because I know who you are. And because I know who you are, So I speak that way, and the self-rising flower or the yeast blows up in me. And as it blows up in me, it has to spill out on whatever I'm dealing with. And someone may go so far as to say, I just like being around that person. They don't need you to tell them, I'm the Son of the living God. I have the words of life. Come unto me. Come on down here on Wednesday night. I got something for you. I don't need to do that. You know why? Because God knows who I am. God knows who you are. And guess what? When I need to be where you are, guess where I'm going to be? Where you need to be where I am, guess where you're going to be? You're going to show up in front of me, and I'm going to look at you, but I'm going to not look at the words of the Bible, and I'm not going to listen to the tapes and the CDs. I'm going to look within myself, knowing that I am in the presence of God, and there where I am, I will speak truth. I don't care what situation you're going through. I got a situation right now. A person wrote me this morning and said, they're still in a lot of pain, and the temperature is 103. And I wrote back and said, still with you. Still with you. But Rev, what is, hey. So I speak. The words that I speak, they are what? Spirit and life and truth. Therein lies the mystery clarified. The words that I speak from believing are the life expressions that I will experience. I speak that which I am. God bless you.